Yeah, glitch the guarantee. E&E, put your boy shit. Glitch, nigga. Shit, I'm about to flood the streets like when the levees break. Criminal minds, my Garcia can navigate. Flowing while I'm blowing this gas. Nigga, no brakes. Niggas not seeing me ever. I mean, no dates. Fuck around and end up gone. You getting misplaced. E&E, the shit that I claim. You dealing with grace. Took over the game by storm like Rain's mixtape. Thankfully, I've been up in smoke like my mixtape. Counting cheddar shit, I'm about to make a grilled cheese. Niggas be faker than bad bitches with good weeds. On my John Wick shit like Keanu Reeves. Replacements won't be enough, you need the whole team. I've been a G since I could finish my ABCs. Kept it a buck so real niggas look up to me. This butcher boy shit get crazy when it's sick of me. I'm coughing out these dope bars till they sick of me.
Can't get rid of me, still can't find a remedy. Still blowing palmers, if it comes to Hennessy. E&E, we own our shit independently. When I go out on a limb, I take extremities. I can see right through on transparency. Heard they self-esteem low, insecurities. Now or never, like glitch the guarantee. What's the recipe? King L's Reflection 3. All these chapters in my life, you can turn the page. Books can't tell you my story, gotta live a day. Glitch got my back, yeah, you can copy that. Man, we control the seat, you can copy that. Leave your whole state red like Republicans. Putting fire on the track, now it's bubbling. Butcher boys, E&E, you in trouble, kid. Add first 100 mil, you can double it.
Let's go, let's go. All the hustles getting money, let it show. Let it show. Automatic nigga, how we get the dough. Get the dough. If it ain't paper, then we probably gotta go. Gotta go. Butcher boy shit, nigga, let's go. Let's go. All the hustles getting money, let it show. Let it show. It's automatic, nigga, how we get the dough. Get the dough. If it ain't paper, then we probably gotta go. Gotta go. Butcher boy shit, nigga, let's go.
Flow sick, corona, jealous in the motherfucker. Can't even take a step, that's how far I trust you. This black boy turned to shining king under pressure. West side fat jacks, I took more to measure. Shave the extras, that's business, starter fees. Street blues, what I talk, royal blood flowing free. Power on my mind, knows the gang is kind. Read between the lines, it was in my eye. If they ain't got real lines, it ain't hard to spot a counterfeit. Undefeated, ultra real, Fern Gully Mountain shit. Couple hot shots, turn on the frozen margaritas. Even better when it's served with some flawless features. Next year they gotta pay for these flawless features. Flawless victories from the flaws that they teach us. Now my flow imitate how I board the plane non-stop. The little J gon' take over with my time side.
Yeah, I get right to it. My nigga, we beg your pardon. We putting niggas back in boxes, yeah, they be harder. My flow be retarded. Sick, I need hella help. My groove came back, this must be how Stella felt. We just started kicking it like a yellow belt. We all made it to the pros. This is how LaMelo felt. You better yell out help. Here comes the double team. You catch me in the spot, then you know that the boy is clean. The Louis V look mean with the magazine. So if you try it, you get shot. No vaccine. If you was asleep before I came, then I'm the caffeine. I pulled the jokers out the deck. Get her ain't no no laughing. In CEO fashion, we sticking to the business. Wouldn't even let a vegan knock me off my chicken. Something about the VBS when the sun is hitting. Should be flashing like the lights when you getting
Let's
tickets.
go. All the hustles getting money, let it show. It's automatic, nigga, how we get the dough. If it ain't paper, then we probably gotta go. With your boy shit, nigga, let's go. All the hustles getting money, let it show. It's automatic, nigga, how we get the dough. If it ain't paper, then we probably gotta go. With your boy shit, nigga, let's go.
What up? XL Pro, what's happening? Everybody, what's happening on this Sunday afternoon? It was just raining out here where I'm at. I don't know what the weather doing out there where y'all at, but where I'm at, it's raining. My mind is going insane. Huh? What's good with y'all, man? You already know, man. It's your brother Virgil Bear, a.k.a. Stop the Facts. And y'all know y'all tapped in, tuned in to another episode of Hey Real Talk Podcast. Last night's show was fire. Shout out to everybody that tapped in. You know what I'm saying? Y'all see us scrolling at the bottom of the screen. I'm about to switch the banner up. But yeah, man, all y'all gotta do is just go type in the Butcher Boys, man. Go tap in with last night's show. Y'all can go get all the Butcher Boys new music, old music, new album we just did a listening party for last night. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to my brother Tox Beats, doing an awesome production job. That Stacks with the Facts is going to be coming pretty soon as well. You did. We working, man. We working. Right? But today, this topic right here, I wonder how many of y'all heard about this. How many of y'all know about this? Come on. Let me put it on the screen for y'all real quick. This is crazy, man. This is absolutely insane. Right? Y'all heard about this? Wow, man. This is a completely crazy and wild situation. You know what I mean? Anything that's involving children is a sensitive subject, man. You know what I'm saying? I would encourage anybody who comes across such information to speak on it and share on it as much as you can. You know what I'm saying? There's never too much awareness. There's never too much coverage, attention that we can shine on situations like this. Unfortunately and very sadly, it has been such a prominent thing in our culture and our society that it would become lightweight, kind of desensitized and numb to it. You know what I'm saying? Suffer the children, man. Suffer the children. This is crazy. Seriously. Y'all heard about this, man? And just think about all the little, man, this is crazy, man. All these children. People just think parents were paying. This is crazy, man. Absolutely wild, man. Y'all know we got to box cleverly, right? We got to box cleverly around these parts with the content nowadays, man. Luckily for y'all, your brother is well versed in studying and learning. I can break things down and it's all good. But what we is going to do is we're going to play this while we play this. So tap in and walk with us. Sad situation.
Follow this story for us. She's live and local at the sheriff's office right now. So, Lisa, what did you learn today?
Well, the most tragic news coming from that press conference today is that they have identified 10 victims, boys and girls, as old as 15 and as young as 3 years old. And they believe there are more of those victims out there. Now, we want to warn you, the details in this case are very disturbing. And some of the images we're going to show you may also be upsetting. But today, Sheriff Jody Wade actually released the picture of the inside of the bunker where they say the atrocities took place for as long as 2 years this was going on. Authorities say the child victims were tied to that bed and that chair, as well as a pole in that bunker. Then people paid money to violate them. Now, you can see the outside of the building. It was built as a storm shelter, but used as a den of horrors for these children. Take a look at the now 7 people who have been arrested in this case. It appears the first person you see there, Andres Trejo, was running the operation. He's charged with multiple counts of human trafficking. The other 6 people, Chase McElroy, Dalton Terrell, Timothy St. John, Rebecca Brewer, Ricky Terrell, and Sarah Terrell, are facing charges from rape, sodomy, sexual torture, to human trafficking, kidnapping, even bestiality. The sheriff today spoke with how the alleged perpetrators found the victims.
Unfortunately, animals like this, they do have their own network. They've got people that they can call. They've got ads they can take out, be it on any kind of social media platform or something like that. So it is somewhat of an underground thing, but it is well known. Not all the offenders were necessarily familiar with the people that they were purchasing the kids from.
Now, the sheriff says there are many victims of our children of the accused. The victims, many of them anyway, are children of the accused. Not only does the sheriff believe that there are more victims out there, but he also believes they're going to be making more arrests in this case. They're making more perpetrators as well. Coming up at 5, we're going to hear from the sheriff on why the Department of Homeland Security is also involved in this investigation. Live in Bibb County, Lisa Crane, WVTM 13.
This is just crazy, man. The fact that parents will actually pay to do this to their own children, or to allow people to pay to do this to their children, it just lets y'all know the devilish times that we living in now, man. Now, I got a couple of catchphrases in the title, one of them being SA, which we all know is sexual assault, but SRA. And I've discussed SRA plenty of times on the show. I've discussed SRA plenty of times on the show. And I want y'all to understand that when it comes to situations like this, these so-called alleged underground child sex trafficking / human trafficking rings, right? And they try to cover it up with the human trafficking, right? When actuality is more centralized around sex trafficking of youth. Believe it or not, most human trafficking, we're talking about adults or adolescent, late adolescent age children, let's say like around 16. What you will find is that most of the people that fit in this age range is like 16 to like 24. Sadly, but truly, they are willingly involved in said human trafficking. Because what y'all got to understand is that lots of these so-called human trafficking victims are voluntarily doing so in exchange for entry into another country, in exchange for a better lifestyle, other than the poverty in which they probably are experiencing, whatever country they may be experiencing this poverty in. I want y'all to understand that although it happens and some people are forced into human trafficking, the majority of people involved in human trafficking are willingly involved. They just came up with this human trafficking thing to cover the sex trafficking. And it's grouped it all together under one huge umbrella, human trafficking. So it can now be considered a federal, international, even offense, to where Interpol and all these intelligence agencies can now investigate foreign nationals. Huh? I wonder how many of y'all just picked up what I just put down. So, of course, they show us the movies like Taken and things of that nature, because that actually happens. I'm not going to shy away from that. Not going to downplay it like these criminal organizations and other organizations, fraternal ones too, around the world. I'm not going to act like they don't participate in kidnapping people from off the street, specifically foreigners in the various countries, and forcing them to do human sex trafficking or sex work. But more often than not, people involved, for the most part, the majority is willing participants, right? And this situation right here is crazy because this is happening right here in our country. And this is not the first time, and I hate to admit it, but you know what I'm talking about? It happens more often than not in our country. And I'm telling y'all right now, when it comes to these sex rings, there's nothing random about them. There's nothing underground about them, as in the outside of that, they operate out of the public eye. But I want y'all to understand that these people here are the bottom feeders. These so-called sex trafficking rings, especially those that deal with the sex trafficking of children, underage children, prepubescent children, teenage children, is almost always going to be a product of SRA. We'll get to what SRA is here in a second. Let's listen to this other video, man. Let's go, y'all, man. Smash that like button, click on the bell, subscribe to the page, man.
New details tonight in a shocking case out of Bibb County. Thanks for joining us at 6. I'm Guy Rawlins.
And I'm Brittany Decker. Officials say 6 children were victimized in a child sex ring. The horrific crimes allegedly took place in an underground bunker in Brent. That's in Bibb County, and that's where we find WVTM 13's Lisa Crane. She went there today to speak with the assistant district attorney in this case. This is where authorities say 6 children, the youngest only 3 years old, were victimized repeatedly over more than a year. It's an underground storm shelter near the home of William Chase McElroy, one of the men charged with raping and sodomizing the children, as well as kidnapping and human trafficking.
Inside the storm shelter, there were chairs and beds and things of that nature. And the children were drugged by Mr. Trejos and tied to the bed and to the chair and to a pole. And then people would come and pay money to have sex with these children.
Assistant District Attorney Brian Jones says there could be more victims and more alleged perpetrators. He says the grand jury has indicted a 4th person, but he can't release that name because that person hasn't been arrested yet. But he says we may never know the full extent of the horrors that happened here.
There are some allegations with individuals that we will have a hard time identifying. Just because we don't know their names, and the children were drugged, according to one of the co-defendants, and so they may not be able to recognize or be able to identify anyone.
Jones says many of these details came from some of the defendants themselves. This has been a tough case for investigators and prosecutors, one they've been looking into since the first of the year.
It absolutely infuriates me. But we have to kind of put that aside and just do the job. That's all we can do.
It could be some comfort to investigators and authorities to know that the crimes these defendants are charged with come with a minimum mandatory sentence of life in prison without the possibility of parole. In Bibb County, Lisa Crane.
My Lord, man. My Lord, man. Let's go, man. Let's listen to more media coverage of this.
As an owner of Walton Goggins goggle glasses, I know how to make slick-looking goggle/glasses.
Ranging in age from 3 years old to 15 years old, are known to be victims in a child sex trafficking ring happening off of Aaron Drive. Sheriff Jody Wade believes that this all began in 2022, even though an investigation wasn't started until 5 months ago.
No child deserves this. That's the most horrible thing you can do. The power and control of it, the stealing the innocence of a child, and the horrible victimizations they went through with these monsters.
The Bibb County Sheriff's Office released these pictures from inside of the bunker. You can see a bed with a dirty mattress and a few chairs. as well as a small chest of drawers with a kitchen appliance on top. Sheriff Jody Wade says the children were not kept permanently in the bunker, but the timing of how long they were in there at one time would vary.
It depends on what appointment time the offenders had. Sometimes the children would be there, tied to a pole that was there, bound to a bed that was there, or in a chair that was there. Sometimes there would be multiple people that would come by and victimize these children on a nightly basis. I know God's forgiveness is boundless, but if there was a limit to it, I think we reached it.
According to the Bibb County Sheriff's Office, the investigation began in February after the Department of Human Resources received a claim of child abuse at a home on Aaron Drive. The Sheriff's Office discovered sexual abuse was happening in a partially underground storm shelter detached from the house, which is what investigators refer to as the bunker.
It was built for a good thing and used for a horrible thing.
Wade believes this case could have ties to the Serrano gang. The gang, he says, gets most of its money from child trafficking. According to the Sheriff's Office, the suspects could make up to $1,000 a night victimizing the children.
For the younger kids, I'm hoping this is a blurry memory because some of the statements of the children, they were unable to remember certain things, and then things would come to mind. And so, in some of the older children, they'll carry this vividly for the rest of their lives.
Wade says the lead investigators on this case have been working nonstop since the abuse was discovered. He says they're all fathers themselves.
It's been heartbreaking. It's very sad. We don't want to see any children ever have to go through this. God puts us at the place that we need to be put at that time, and I think me and Justin, our agency, has been put there, and we're going to do everything we can. And my only message to all of the victims, know we are fighting for y'all.
Sheriff Wade says this is an ongoing investigation. He expects there to be more arrests and more victims as it continues. Reporting in Bibb County, Maddie McQueen, CBS 42 News.
My Lord, this is terrible, man. Terrible. So they got a whole bunker. This guy right here, Enes Taylor, probably an illegal immigrant, man, out here in Alabama. They got this underground sex ring thing going on where people can pay to either do or watch other people engage in sexual conduct with children ranging from ages 3 to 17. Now, understand, y'all, when it comes to situations like this, at the roots of these circumstances, at the roots of these situations, is what is known as SRA, or satanic ritualistic abuse. You ever heard of it? SRA, satanic ritualistic abuse. And know that anything that is involved with underground sex trafficking rings, specifically those of children, you can best believe that Satanism is at the root of it. Huh? I want y'all to understand that at the roots of all this stuff is SRA, or satanic ritualistic or ritual abuse. OG, what's happening, man? See, they use all this stuff, these people, like these 7 people or whoever, 10 people, they use them as the front story, the cover story, right? So they can continue to get the funding to cover it up, while the major part of the money is used by the very organizations that allegedly advocate to find these children, or to put systems in place to preventative measures to protect these children. Most of these children coming up out of foster care, out of youth services, youth detention services. When we get to the roots of this situation, it's always based and rooted in satanic, ritualistic abuse. About roughly 4% of the nation are active out in the open Satanists. We don't know how many operate in secret, but it's a lot. And they have these satanic covenants. God think yes. And the children that are brought up in these societies, these organizations, a lot of them aren't even counted for. So we think about the number of children who come up missing. We gotta think we only know about the ones that are reported. We don't have no clue about the unreported missing children who are not documented, who do not have a birth certificate or a social security card because they was born within the confines of some satanic, Luciferian, right? And these books right here are some books that y'all can go check out to put yourself up on game about satanic, ritualistic abuse, right? I done talked to y'all about this stuff before. Right? Hope they lock every one of these people up for the rest of their life.
Still renting while your landlord gets rich? Tired of
Smash that like button, click the bell, subscribe to the page, share us as an error.
In our 6 o'clock newscast about the arrest of 3 men out of Bibb County accused of abusing at least 6 children in an underground storm bunker. Now a 4th arrest has been made, and the charges against this suspect are just as disturbing. The Bibb County District Attorney's Office confirms Timothy St. John taken into custody today. He's facing 15 charges, including rape, sodomy, human trafficking, kidnapping, bestiality, and cruelty to animals. According to officials, some of the alleged offenses took place inside the same underground bunker on Aaron Road in Brent, Alabama, that has been central to this ongoing case. It's where they say 6 children were victimized in a child sex rape. The youngest, only 3 years old, were victimized repeatedly over more than a year. The underground storm shelter is near the home of William Chase McElroy, one of the men charged with raping and sodomizing the children, as well as kidnapping and human trafficking.
Inside the storm shelter, there were chairs and beds and things of that nature. And the children were drugged by Mr. Trejos and tied to the bed and to the chair and to a pole. And then people would come and pay money to have sex with these children.
Will McElroy and Andre Trejo Valesque have been charged.
My Lord, man. It's crazy, man.
Florida Governor Ron DeSantis says
Wild stuff, y'all. There's more chicks interested in this situation.
And we want to warn you. Well, a total of 7 people are now in custody in connection to a child trafficking case involving an underground bunker in Bibb County. Some of the suspects are the children's own parents, and authorities say more victims may still be out there. EDC 3340's Gracie Johnson has more details, and we want to warn you, you may find it disturbing.
It's a case investigators say they'll never forget. Children drugged and tied up, taken underground into a bunker where strangers paid to abuse them.
sometimes there would be multiple people that would come by and victimize these children on a nightly basis.
10 children so far have been identified. The youngest, just 3 years old. The oldest, 15. Most of them are under the age of 10, and investigators fear there are more victims and suspects still unaccounted for.
Some of them come in as they got old enough to be desirable to a pedophile, I guess, and then some of them, their victimization started out when they were younger, and then they reached the age of 10.
Investigators say the children were sexually abused in what was described as appointments paid for by offenders.
Sometimes they could make up to $1,000 a night.
And some of the people who were supposed to protect them were the ones handing them over.
Some of these people are acquaintances, some of them are family, and some of them are just people that they were able to schedule to come to the storm shelter.
Law enforcement believed this wasn't just a local crime. It was part of an organized human trafficking network, possibly linked to a violent gang. One suspect, Andres Trejo Valquez, is believed to have connections to a gang called Serenos, a group the sheriff says profits off child exploitation. His legal status in the U.S. is now under investigation.
Where did this guy come from? We don't know what he lived.
See? It's these illegal immigrants coming up here with this shit. Right? Notice that amongst these illegals, specifically these Latino, so-called Latino illegals, most of them coming from Mexico, they bring the most lascivious behavior up here with them. Most of them are sexual offenders. They're sexual violators. Sexually depraved, sexual deviants. And you got to ask yourself, why is sexual assault such a common thing amongst these Latino illegals coming up here from Central and South America as well as Mexico, but mostly Mexico? Where are they getting this from? Why is this such a prominent and prevalent thing in their culture? But yet here we are as FBA men, we are somehow being painted as the face of sexual deviancy. Right? Satanic ritualistic abuse. I want y'all to look into it. Right? I want y'all to look into it. I'm about to show a video, man. Listen here, y'all. Whenever y'all hear situations like this, man, I'm positive when it comes to children being involved in this situation, in this capacity, I'm telling you right now, satanic ritualistic abuse is almost always going to be at the root. Right? My Lord, the devil is a lie, man. Right? I'll pull this up on the screen for y'all, man. Smash that like button, click on the bell, subscribe to the page, man. We gotta protect our youth at all costs, man. They are under attack from these sick people. Right?
Here's where we get into really even more delicate topic with satanic ritual abuse. And so just a fair warning right now, we're going to share a video that discusses this topic it's a very sensitive topic and it's a topic that can be very traumatizing to a lot of people. So just a heads up, we're going to be covering that. So what is satanic ritual abuse? Satanic ritual abuse is the ritualistic abuse starting with children, and it's used to turn the victim against Christ, and it trains the victim to be an abuser as well. And also they have built a network of protection for their crimes to make sure that they don't get in trouble for what they're doing. Important books to be able to learn more about this, besides this, the little bit that I'm going to touch upon tonight, is the Franklin cover-up. Here's where we get into really even more delicate topic with satanic ritual abuse. And so just a fair warning right now, we're going to share a video that discusses this topic it's a very sensitive topic.
All right. I'm trying to understand this, man.
They didn't think that we would survive, any of us. And if we did survive, they didn't think we'd remember. And if we did remember, they didn't think we'd speak. And if we did speak, they didn't think anyone would believe us. Well, praise God, that is not the case. And there are more and more, there's not tons of survivors, because even if people survive, most of them commit suicide because they cannot handle the stuff I've been telling you that I've had to work through. They cannot handle it, or they're in long-term mental institutions. But the ones that survive and make it, and she's one of them, several others, you can hear survivors sharing stories, and it puts all the pieces of the puzzle together for all of the people who are listening. We have firsthand accounts of what happened. They didn't think that we would survive, any of us. And if we did survive, they didn't think we'd remember. And if we did remember, they didn't think we'd speak. And if we did speak, they didn't think anyone would believe us. Well,
see? And if they didn't speak, they didn't think automatically no one will believe you. All right? And that's how these things work. Nobody will believe you. Because the greatest thing the devil ever did was convince the world that he does not exist. What do they tell y'all about Kanye West? What do they tell y'all about Dave Chappelle? This is the same people. Same people are behind this. They are behind what's going on in the music industry and so forth and so on. It's the same people. Understand that Satanism and Luciferianism is at the root of all what's going on. All these fraternal organizations, all these secret societies, at the root, at the base of their structure and their foundations is Luciferianism/Satanism. Please believe that to some degree. Wild work, man. Wild work, man. Stuff is wild, man.
The ritual abuse is different than other forms of sex trafficking because it's more than just being forced to have sexual relations with someone against your will. It's sacrifices of animals and people. It's in the middle of the night being taken from your home and taken to an undisclosed location. And sometimes they don't remember where they were taken, so then they don't even know if it was real. Sometimes it's underground. And then these are rituals, meaning it happens on a regular basis. So whether it's once a week, once a month, but it happens regularly for years and years and years.
Listen to Voices for Freedom on all major podcast streaming platforms.
Well, I want y'all to get hit to this story right here and this lady. This lady right here, man, she's a very interesting lady. All right. 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 I'm gonna put her up on the screen real quick too. All right. Because Kathy O'Brien is a very interesting character. All right. And she's a personification of what that lady just was talking about. All right. When they say that if you start talking, nobody's going to believe you. Right. See, and they call her a conspiracy theorist. Right. And that's what I be saying, man. That's how you try to do anything that assassinates your character. Notice how they don't put no picture of her on her Wikipedia page. All right, but we can see a picture of Kathy right here. Kathy is still alive after everything she's been through. She's still here with us. That's Kathy O'Brien right there. All right, let me bring the image up on the screen real quick for y'all before we get to the video. Smash that like button, click on the bell, subscribe to the page. They don't want us knowing about this type of stuff, man. They want us talking about a whole bunch of bullshit. All right. This is Kathy O'Brien right here. Kathy O'Brien was raised up in a satanic family where she experienced extreme amounts of satanic rituals and abuse. She was made to be a breed mare and a sex slave for the elites in politics and entertainment. And her daughter, Kelly, who was a sex slave, according to Kathy O'Brien, allegedly of the Bush family. Right? I have every reason to believe what she's saying, simply because she's never been sued and she's never been, they're trying to get rid of her. Rest in the essence, I think her husband just died not too long ago, Mark, mysteriously, oddly, out of the blue. Right?
I'd like to introduce to you that person who in 1988 did not know who she was, and a person that today is not only aware of who she is, but also her purpose in this life. I would also like to introduce a person who changed my life forever. Kathy O'Brien, thank you.
I'd like to thank you for coming out here this evening to arm yourselves with comprehensive understanding of mind control, because knowledge is our only defense against mind control.
Now, what do I always be talking to y'all about over here? I always be telling y'all about mind control, MK Ultra, human brain computer interfacing. I always tell y'all that the unintelligent artificial intelligence is the electronic, digital, holographic version, interpretation of the mind of Lucifer, Satan, the devil. And when we're talking about these underground sex trafficking rings, especially child sex trafficking rings, understand and please know that they're based and rooted in Luciferianism. And people way at the top are running, controlling, and orchestrating this shit. And the people way at the bottom are the cannon fodder scapegoats for when this stuff gets made public and it breaches the surface after being underground for so long. Kathy O'Brien is a woman who was brought up in this system, this structure, for a better part of half her life, as well as her daughter Kelly, who was conceived out of wedlock and amongst from one of her abusers. Right? So I would suggest anybody who's looking into such things, interested in getting knowledge on SRA, sexual or satanic ritualistic abuse, I suggest that you go look into the research of Kathy O'Brien. She has a book called The Trance, spelled TRANCE Formation of America. Dope ass book, man. Right?
Knowledge is our...
She talks about MK Ultra, Project Monarch, human brain computer interfacing, gang stalking, all of that shit. All of this shit is a part of the same agenda. All of which I've covered over here at A Real Talk Podcast. And will continue to cover. Let's go.
Only defense against it, which is exactly why it's being suppressed under the 1947 National Security Act. There's a small handful of criminals that are in control of our government and in control of our country, that are in control of our information, and they're suppressing pertinent facts such as mind control and hiding under the National Security Act. That's national security that's threatening the security of our nation when it allows for crimes against humanity like tortures to continue, when it allows for mass mind control mechanisms to go into place through social engineering that keeps us all warring with each other and not really understanding exactly what it is that's going on in our world.
Well, I've been telling y'all about social engineering, man. We've been tricked when they're calling it social media, not understanding where the word media comes from, which I'll cover on the show as well. Hey, man, your brother gonna keep putting y'all up on this game, man. Understand that this is where this stuff comes from. The devil is a lie. You hear me? Smash that like button, quick. Let's go. Subscribe to the page, share social engineering. Shout out to Kathy O'Brien for having the courage to expose and talk about the stuff she's talking about. Let's go. I believe the reason why Kathy O'Brien hasn't been unalive is because she's made herself too public. And for her to mysteriously come up dead when there's clearly nothing wrong with her would validate a lot of her stuff, the stuff she says. Right? So understand that aspect of this stuff. Now tap in, walk with us, let's go.
We all formulate our thoughts, our opinions, and ultimately our actions based on what we know. And when our knowledge base is altered, we're left to superstition, conjecture, and ultimately fear. And fear is a strong basis for mind control, whether it's a kind of mind control that is the mass mind control over a whole society, or if it's the kind of absolute robotic mind control that I experienced under MK Ultra on a White House Pentagon level.
See, a lot of y'all think that this is a game. Or a lot of y'all have bought into the whole conspiracy theory ideology. And this is why I tell y'all, when it comes to the term conspiracy theory, it was designed by the very intelligence agencies, the CIA, Tavistock Institute, to do exactly what it does. As soon as you hear the word, the phrase, the term conspiracy theory, most people dismiss it because that's a conspiracy theory, meaning it's not true. When in all actuality, it's actually a conspiracy fact. And there's tons of evidence for this stuff. But just like the girl said earlier, they want to make you think that, by the time you start talking about it, nobody's going to believe you. The people who are members of these satanic, ritualistic abuse covens and cults, they're not just your average run-of-the-mill U.S. citizens. No, these are your leaders of business, leaders in finance, leaders in government, politics, entertainment, sports, academia, the medical field. That's who these people are. Your doctors, your lawyers, your city council members, your state legislatures. These are the people who are members of these satanic cults and covens. Right? My man Craig Harper in the building. What's good? Limits not morals. What you do within the law is different from your personal morals. 1821, those are kids to me. My morals are set up different, so it's all say. Hey, I feel you on that, Craig Harper, man. All right, but understand when it's specifically involving children, especially prepubescent children. Oh, understand that it is some satanic ritualistic abuse going on. And I've spoken on this many times. I broke this down many times. Why they specifically go for prepubescent children. Sad, man. Let's go, man. Shout out to Kathy O'Brien, man. Rest in essence to her husband, Mark, man.
I feel very fortunate to have recovered from my mind control victimization and to have a clear view of what's actually going on behind the scenes of what Adolf Hitler and George Bush termed a New World Order. It makes perfect sense to me what I'm seeing in society today. And the truth that set me free from the absolute mind control that I experienced can also set you free from any kind of fear that you're experiencing through what is happening in our society and in our world today. It can also free you from any kind of trauma that you've experienced in the past. It can also free you from information control that has left you wondering what in the world is going on today. I'd like to provide a comprehensive view of exactly what mind control entails based on my victimization in mind control and also my recovery from it. Because the mind expanding abilities that I gained in my recovery process are abilities that each and every one of you would be able to use to gain a better understanding, to know what's going on in the world and empower you to make a positive difference in your own lives and in your own walk of life, in your own society, your own family, and affect those that you love as well. In 1957, I was born into a multi-generational incest-based family. My father had been sexually abused. His mother was a prostitute.
See? It's generational, man. That's why I say this stuff is generational. Generational demons. I don't be saying this stuff just to sound slick on down YouTube streaming. This stuff is generational. So with that being said, with the situation in Bibb County in Alabama, I'm pretty sure all those people are related to some extent. We're very familiar with each other. What I'm saying is this is not a random thing. People don't just randomly get together out of the blue and decide that they're going to just randomly get children, select children, and just have them involved in such a situation. They don't run like that. They don't operate like that. I want y'all to know that, man. When it comes to situations like this, there's people way at the top involved. Average, normal people in society do not engage in such activity. I'm telling y'all, man. The people that be involved in these sex trafficking rings, child sex, these be the higher up people, man. These be the people who we consider the upper middle class, the upper class of society. I want y'all to know that. Big business is involved with sexual trafficking, specifically of minors, especially prepubescent minors. That's a fact, Craig Harper. They be like in some countries like Thailand, 14, 16 is illegal to smash. You're a pedo. In a lot of cases, laws are used as limits. Morals are different than laws, and that's a fact. These people have no morals. Notice that the people who are involved with this specific case in Bitt County in Alabama, the victims are the offender's own children, which further lets me know that there's some sexual ritualistic foundations to this situation. Please believe it. And it's sad because these kids are being indoctrinated. Remember I talked to y'all about trauma-based mind control? As Kathy is telling y'all about how she was a victim of the MK Ultra program through its offshoot, Project Monarch. These same tactics have been programmed into other people because they have been subject to the same thing. It's like an ongoing process. So they make sure they keep a nice flow of victims, because the victims end up victimizing more victims. And it's like a conveyor belt, and they operate through the foster care system. They operate through all these illegal immigrants coming from Central America, South America, Mexico. And y'all sitting up here voting for these people to get some type of free citizenship or rights or something. And that's a fact. Right? Y'all think it's just regularly country bumpkins doing? No, man. No. I'm not saying that some of these cases there are, but understand that when it comes to the why, this is a huge operation. This is not the only one in this group. This guy clearly is an illegal immigrant. And you got to ask yourself, what level of sexual deviancy have people been lowered to where that they would even use their own children as victims, as products in the operation, where people could pay to come and have sexual interaction with these children ranging from 3 to 15. It's freaking gross. It's freaking sick. And I'm telling you, when it comes to stuff like this, it is the devil is a lie. Satanism is involved. Luciferianism is involved. Trauma-based mind control. This is the stuff I've been telling y'all about. Trauma-based mind control. We can only imagine what these children have been suffering through for the past year, being chained up to poles, locked up in cages, different random, freaky, creepy, demonic, possessed people coming through to have interactions, sexual interactions with them, just destroying their innocence, destroying their psyche, making them more culpable conduits to be used to have these entities enter to our reality through. And that's the worst part about it, Deformed Pretty Boy. They use religion to cover the whole shit up, man. Now, I done broke down the words religion to y'all. I done broke all this stuff down to y'all. The current church is the synagogue of Satan. And a lot of these people claiming to be Christians, Protestants, Mormons, they are demonic. Catholics, they're the main ones funneling the children through their foster care systems to these very childhood sex trafficking networks. They even run and operate and control them. Yeah, Khadijah was a young chick, but she was put on Muhammad. Khadijah was a honey trap, if you would, what they call a honey pot. She was raised and bred to do exactly what she did. She was sicked on Muhammad. She comes from a bloodline of witches and sorcerers. Huh? How many people knew that? Huh? And Khadijah just wasn't no regular broad. She was sick on Muhammad, put on him, watching, sucking dry. And she was a victim of the very same circle, the very same system that Kathy was a victim of, that a lot of these children, ages from 3 to 15, the same structure, the same system, same shit. And just like old girl earlier said, they be thinking that these people, these children have been through so much trauma that if they start talking about it, people ain't going to believe them. Especially when they get to putting these names on people. These children having satanic, ritualistic abuse all their childhood life. Their brains are just so scattered and mixed up due to compartmentalization and trauma-based mind control, creating all of these, what I've been telling y'all, these alters as in altered states of awareness and or perception. And these different alters or programs can be controlled. This is where you get the Manchurian Candidate, Manchurian Candidate, MK Ultra. All of this stuff is connected. This is where you get movies like The Red Room with the Scarlet, not the Scarlet Witch, but with, Scarlett Johansson's character from the Marvel, from the Fantastic Four. She was brought up in the Red Room. It's the same shit, man. Trauma-based mind control. Neuro-linguistic programming. Computer brain, human brain computer interfacing. It's all the same stuff. Right? Tap in, man. Shout out to Kathy O'Brien, man.
My mother had been sexually abused, and her father was military intelligence and ran a Blue Masonic Lodge.
Most military men, especially high-ranking military men, are members of secret fraternal organizations. And most of them also practice, whether they know it or not, whether they realize it or not, they're practicing in satanic and Luciferian rituals and tactics. How about did any of y'all know that the U.S. military openly, willingly allows people who identify as Satanists and or Luciferianists to enter into high ranks of the military? One of the founding members of the current day Satanic Church, David Aquino. A high-ranking dude in the military. He was the head of the PSYOPs, organization. We want to talk about the PSYOPs operations, the psychological operations. Man, y'all better know who these people is, man. Y'all better know who these people are, man. Satanism and Luciferianism runs Hollywood, runs the sports industry, runs the entertainment industry, runs the finance industry, runs the media industry. This is Michael Aquino, Sammy Davis Jr., Anthony LaVey. Do your research on Michael Aquino. Michael, last name Aquino, A-C-Q-U-I-N-O. He was a high-ranking military guy in the Army, a high-ranking officer who was head of the PSYOPs division. He was head of the PSYOPs division. He was the first person to be in charge of the PSYOPs division. Right? Where they dibbled and dabbled into remote viewing, astral projection, group think. Y'all remember the movie Men Who Stare at Goats? You ever seen that movie before? Men Who Stare at Goats? That was based off of what Michael Aquino was doing. Right? How many of y'all knew that Sammy Davis Jr. was a Satanist? And was also alleged to be involved in a huge global sex ring that went all the way to the United Kingdom in the British Crown. What y'all know about that? Right? Let's get back to our sister Kathy, man.
I'm certainly not going to be suggesting that all Masons are bad, just because there are many who have an ulterior agenda that is formulated on abuse. And anyone that I name is not to suggest that any particular group is responsible for what's going on in the world today. It's just not that simple. There's good and bad in everything, and it weaves in and out of society. And in my situation, I thought that the whole world was involved in abuse. And as a very young child, I had hoped that there was some place in the world where people didn't abuse their children. I thought that perhaps that could actually happen because that's what I felt in my heart. And yet, with my whole environment saturated and my view was narrow to my own environment, I lost hope that there was a place where people didn't abuse each other. The sexual abuse that I endured as a child began at a very early age. And it was before I could actually think to understand that my father's sexual abuse was bad. I couldn't judge morally what he was doing was wrong in any way whatsoever. But I did endure the pain and suffocation of his abuse just the same. And my body automatically responded to that pain and to that suffocation by developing a disorder which is known as dissociative identity disorder. This disorder was formally termed multiple personality disorder. And the International Society for the Study of Dissociation has finally come out with better information on how to recover from trauma and have redefined the disorder as dissociative identity disorder, because multiple personality disorder is a misnomer. I didn't develop multiple personalities. I had one personality that was just totally shattered from the abuse.
Yeah, they used to call it multiple personality disorder. Now they refer to it as dissociative identity disorder, which is more fitting, right? Because through the satanic ritualistic abuse, sexual satanic ritualistic abuse, you become desensitized and numb to such activity and interactions to the point to where your brain creates these psychological firewalls to prevent you from remembering the pain, physical or emotional, that you experienced by said interaction, said experience. And after so much abuse over a period of time has been inflicted upon somebody, you will develop these different firewalls, alters, as in altered states of awareness and or perception, and a lot of them will not be familiar with each other. This is how crazy the brain works, and this is due to the reptilian genetics that we all have. See, now we getting on a whole nother situation right now, and this is where this stuff leads to. This is why I say to y'all, when we see these sex child rings being exposed, it goes way deeper than some people being some freaky, nasty people that just want to violate children. No, it goes a lot deeper than that. Yeah, she was. She was a contractor / advisor to Anthony LaVey's, or should I say to Michael Aquino's PSYOPs division. This is Kamala Harris's mother. She was one of the Her mother is a descendant of the guy who assassinated Mahatma Gandhi. Kamala Harris on her mother's side extends from a long line of assassins. Kamala Harris is related by blood to the same guy who bodied Gandhi. So these people aren't chosen randomly. They are selected. And the fact that Kathy O'Brien is still alive is testament to the validity of what she says, because to off her, she was to somehow mysteriously come up dead, it would validate everything she ever said. I believe, and I know for a fact, that is why some people who were at some point victims of this system, and for whatever reason, they was able to slide through the crevices and cracks and survive till now. Some of them may be controlled opposition. Some of them may be rabble rousers. Some of them may be a victim of their programming. But I think a lot of them have broken free from their programming. And when they speak in the way they speak, specifically Kathy O'Brien, because she says names and dates. George W. Bush, George H.W. Bush, Dick Cheney, all these people, man. Yeah. Do your research into who Kathy O'Brien is. Right? I just want y'all to understand that on the surface, we got some freaky people out of Britt County, Alabama, who's involved in this very, very, very disgusting situation. But as soon as you start doing the research and connecting the dots to see who's all involved with this, who these people are connected to, then you start to see that, oh, this is much deeper than just some freaky ass people want to be freaky and nasty and damaging these kids. Y'all got to understand that people are paying for these services. And it ain't just regular folks, man. Notice how they're not talking about the people who were purchasing these services. They ain't mention their names, ain't mention nothing about them. They're only talking about the parents who are involved with this and the children to an extent. They're not saying anything about the so-called clients. Right? Shout out to Kathy O'Brien. Let's go.
When trauma occurs that is too horrible to comprehend, the mind compartmentalizes that.
This is what have I been telling y'all? Listen to what Kathy is saying. This is the same stuff I've been telling y'all. Listen to what Kathy's saying. Listen to her break it down, man. How trauma-based mind control works.
I had one personality that was just totally shattered from the abuse. When trauma occurs that is too horrible to comprehend, the mind compartmentalizes that abuse. So by compartmentalizing off that abuse, the rest of the mind can function normally as though nothing had happened. This is now professionally defined, this disorder is, as the mind's same defense to trauma too horrible to comprehend. It's not something that as a very, very young child I thought to develop and used as a psychological protective mechanism. Instead, it's what my brain automatically did in order to deal with the extensive abuse that I was experiencing. My father may not have been aware of the effects on my brain that his abuse was causing. Not until much later, when his sexual abuse used as expanded into child pornography. He was supplementing the family income with proceeds from child pornography he was making of me, and this child pornography was being sold through the local Michigan mafia child pornography ring. Well, back then, this was just right around the age of 6. So this was like now into the early 60s. And a local politician was actually sanctioning this child pornography ring in order to target children like myself for MK Ultra mind control.
That's Auntie Kathy right there, man. I've been following her research for some years now. You feel me? And I'm gonna tell you right now, she's credible, man. You know what I'm saying? Y'all can go do your research on your own. You know what I'm saying? Go do your due diligence. Don't take my word for it. Go do your due diligence. You feel me? I've been studying Kathy's research for quite some time. You know? She's been around for quite some time, too. She ain't been sued by none of these people. The Bush family has never attempted to sue her. Not even once. We'll never question about Kathy O'Brien. George H.W. Bush, who just died not too long ago, he would just deny that he even knows her. Never once did he come up with charges against Kathy. Never once did he try to sue her for defamation of character, making false statements, or any of that. I want y'all to understand this, man. Right? Kathy O'Brien has never been sued, and she say big names: George W. Bush, Dick Cheney, Elliot Abrams, everybody who was involved with Iran-Contra, everybody who was involved with 9/11. She says names, dates. Nobody ever tried to sue her. Nobody ever tried. There's been plenty of attempts on her life, though. Plenty of attempts on her life. But nobody ever tried. Listen here. If you is making up stuff about these famous people that is not true, they will not hesitate to sue you for libel. So the fact that Kathy can be doing what she's been doing for the past 20-something years down there, speaking in the way she has been about the people she has been speaking about, and her to never be sued, never be subpoenaed, but multiple threats on her life, that should just go to tell y'all right there. That validates everything she says, especially when you look into her family's history of who her father is and who he was connected to politically. Her father was the Grand Wizard of the local Scottish Rite Freemasonry Lodge in Michigan, where she's from in Michigan. Right? You know what I'm talking about? She's never been subpoenaed, never tried to been taken to court, but there's been multiple attempts on her life. I want to say her husband, Mark, who just mysteriously came up dead about 2-3 years ago, she wrote a book, y'all, called The Transform. I'm going to pull it up on the screen. Yeah, Michael Aquino used to be making the rounds back in the day. He came on Sally Jesse Raphael. He came on Jerry Springer. He came on Phil Donahue. All the little shows back in the day with his demonic ass. Yeah, Mark Phillips was her husband's name. Right? Y'all can go get this book right here, man. I'm about to pull it up on the screen for y'all. Smash that like button, click on the bell, subscribe to the page. You know, I'm going to bring y'all the raw, man. I'm going to bring y'all the real. I'm going to give y'all references to go check out this stuff that I'll be talking about so y'all can know I ain't just blowing smoke up y'all's asses. Right? You order this book on Amazon, and you might go to Barnes & Noble. They might have a copy on the shelf. If not, they can definitely order it from the publisher for you. I suggest y'all go get this book, Kathy O'Brien, The Transformation of America, where she talks about MK Ultra, Project Monarch. She talks about Project Naomi. She talks about human brain computer interfacing, voice to skull technology, trauma-based mind control, all the stuff that I'll be talking to y'all about. And how the political structure of the American government, who is ran by the secret fraternal organizations, use these tactics and techniques on American citizens to bring about the structure of government that they so desire. So, you know what I'm saying, man? We about to get up out of here, man. You know, I just wanted to bring this to y'all awareness because I know a lot of people, I don't see a lot of people talking about this. And this is very serious. While all this other stuff is going on that we being distracted with, Nicki Minaj challenge, all this bullshit. This is what's going on. This is the stuff we need to be focusing on or put attention into and really be speaking about. All right? These illegal immigrants, they're bringing this demonic activity, these demonic practices of human trafficking, sex trafficking, specifically with children, SRA, with their Sentidia. That demonic, satanic shit, Santeria, is demonic, it's satanic, it's very akin to voodoo, vodun, hoodoo, voodoo. That's all the same shit, man. The same demonic ass shit. Shout out to Kathy O'Brien and rest of the essence to Mark Phillips for having the courage to speak publicly about how high up in echelons of society this satanic ritualistic abuse actually goes. It goes to the very high. The people who we get tricked into voting for. This is why I don't vote. This is another reason why I don't vote. I'm not voting for people who, at the end of the day, are basically Satanists and Luciferianists. And y'all wonder why the devil got so much influence and power, because y'all been tricked into giving it to him. I refuse. So with that being said, we about to get up out of here, y'all, man. I appreciate everybody tapping in later on tonight. We will be going in at 8 p.m. 2 nights. I think that's what I set the show for, if I'm not mistaken. We're only talking about this young boy right here, man, who just don't seem to get it. Or maybe he does. Maybe he does get it. Maybe he just playing his role, or maybe he getting tired of playing the role. Right? Later on tonight, we're going to be talking about the young boy, streamer dude, young boy, successful dude. At what expense, though? At what cost is he doing this? Kai Cenat gets dropped by Nike for refusing to not talk about God. Right? We're going to definitely get to this later on tonight. Right? As I give y'all a double dose of shows on a Sunday night. You know what I'm saying? Now, Pops came through the other day. You know what I'm saying? He been dealing with a situation he got going on, so he ain't really been up to doing Spiritual Root Sunday. But he promised me as soon as he gets settled in this new situation, he's going to be ready to go. So I'm going to keep it moving with these spiritually based associated shows on Sunday, man. I might do two, might do one, going to do at least one, might be two. We're doing two today because it's going to be later on this evening. Smash that like button, click on the bell, subscribe to the page, sharing social engineering. Listen, man. These dudes who they put, what I've been telling y'all about these guys, man, that they just make popular, man. No hating on the young brother, but the young brother ain't got no talent. He ain't got no gifts or nothing like that. Right? He's only mildly charismatic and magnetic, and that's to a certain age group. What's going to happen when Kai turns 30, 35? How will he be used to push these people's products while keeping his personal feelings to himself and not being true to who he actually is, man? Come on, man. We're going to talk about this later on tonight. Smash that like button, click on the bell, subscribe to the page, sharing your social engineering, man. Right? Y'all know we ain't playing no games over here, man. We're gonna break it down, man. We're going to talk about it, man. E&E every day, all day, no days off. Shout out to everybody that tapped in last night. We appreciate it. Go listen to all the E&E music. We here.
Imagine being able to build anything.
That's not necessary.
We'll see y'all later on this evening, man. Tap in and walk with us.
Going to hurt.
Task Force, Black Force, we the tag team. If it's a nightmare, then it must be a bad dream. E&E, running our lanes like a track meet, skipping over hurdles. Call us a track team, all paperwork legit. It's the fact team, then double up the championship belts like a tag team. Black on black, yeah, it's a black thing. Black jewelry shining on all of our black kings. All black everything, we got black tea. All black coffee, man, I don't add green. North give you all you need, no more caffeine. Close down the whole set, no more casting. Remove targets off our back like a black team. We keep growing up the game like a black team. The girl got a problem with me, then get at me. I'm tired to a bumper, now you got a drag queen. You can't stop me, you old as jalopy. This is past me, and I got it photocopied. Caught up on film, flow, tracks and sloppy. Trying to attack me, you a carbon copy. I keep the heat like chimney blocks, and I charge for a hook, put me in a penalty box. Man, I'm killing the ops while I look at my watch. All hands on deck like the time on the clock. Task Force, Black Force, we the tag team. If it's a nightmare, then it must be a bad dream. E&E, running our lanes like a track meet, skipping over hurdles. Call us a track team, all paperwork legit. It's the fact team, then double up the championship belts like a tag team. Black on black, yeah, it's a black thing. Black jewelry shining on our black
Keep
things.
my grass cut low to catch a glimpse of the snakes. Devilish serpents with purpose to steal your cake. Smiling in your face while they got their eyes on your safe. Yeah. Boy, that hatred, man, they make you do some foul things. Switch up on your niggas like the numbers when the Dow change. When I'm worth a million, still a grind like a broke. Take it for granted, should be gone in the proof of smoke. Better put your plan in action, niggas get you used to hope. Formulated the plan, calculated the steps. 2020, my vision, see my way to the check. Only way is up, I made my way to the steps. Let's go. Look, only way to move is building kingdom shit. Niggas won't make a move, want you to bring them shit. But God bless the child that can hold his own. They want to give you numbers in his cell like a mobile phone. But fuck a cop, any wicked judicial system. Cause niggas on the edge, there for you to push. Bullets loaded tight up in that magazine. Bring a nightmare to American dreams.
Task Force, Black Force, we the tag team. If it's a nightmare, then it must be a bad dream. E&E, running our lanes like a track meet, skipping over hurdles. Call us a track team, all paperwork legit. It's the fact team, then double up the championship belts like a tag team. Black on black, yeah, it's a black thing. Black jewelry shining on our black things.